Hello and welcome to tonight's show. My name is Micah and I am joined with Jason Ross, the co-creator of Homestead, the series. As you may know, Homestead has just released on the Angel Guild, and we thought we'd go live and answer some of the most pressing questions we've got about the series, the creation process, and what we can expect going forward. So before we jump into that, one of the most common questions we've been getting is what's the release schedule of Homestead, the series? So let's just very quickly talk about that, and then we can jump into some questions. Does that sound great?
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome. So the release schedule, you can see it right there on your screen. We are releasing episode 3 right now.
Finally. Oh.
Finally, right now. Yes, it is live. So you can go to angel.com/homesteads1 for season 1. And then there you can join the Angel Guild, become a member, and you gain access to this amazing series, as well as the movie, the first 2 episodes. This is the 3rd one we're releasing. But you gain so much access to so much content by becoming an Angel Guild member there. But, so the 3rd episode releases right now, and then it's every Wednesday going forward. Is that correct?
Yep, right up to Christmas.
And then Christmas, don't we
Just like Die Hard.
Yeah, there you go.
Us.
It's a Christmas series, obviously. Yeah. And then Christmas, we are releasing 2, correct? On that Wednesday and the Thursday, if I'm correct in that. Yeah, so Merry Christmas. Right on Christmas, you get 2 episodes.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. That's the perfect Christmas gift.
Boy, I love 7 and 8. The last 2 episodes, it's just I watch
awesome.
them and I feel like a wrung out rag. They're so emotional and so powerful.
Oh my goodness. Man, that will be powerful right on Christmas. Do you think we might see some tears over the Christmas dinner?
I cry every single time I'm such a big baby. Every time I watch 7 and 8, to watch these characters come together and their faith come together despite this immense peril that they find themselves in. I love the ride. Hope you love it too.
No, I'm sure they will. So that is the release schedule for Homestead season 1. But something we're doing with this season as well, which is really exciting, is we're doing another giveaway. Yes. So just like Homestead, the film, where we did a giveaway for that, we're doing one for season 1. You can find out all the information. Angel.com/Hummer is where you find the information. And why is it Angel.com/Hummer? Is because one of the prizes we're giving away is one of the Hummers.
Oh no, you guys are going to get our Hummer?
You're giving away stuff from the set.
Okay.
That's so cool. There's so many other items there. You can check it out. If we went through all the items here, we'd lose breath. So but another thing that I should bring up though is something that I found really cool is we have a few questions that I'll get to later about people who were on the set of season 1. And one of the giveaway items.
Our family.
Yeah, exactly.
Our extras family.
Yeah, it's amazing. And one of the giveaway prizes is to become an extra in season 2, which you guys are starting up here pretty soon. I'm pretty sure we'll get to that later. But an all expenses paid trip to fly you out to become an extra in season 2 of Homestead. So that's one of the prizes, which is so cool.
We'll see you there.
That's so cool. But with that being said, let's just jump into the first question.
All right.
So the first question we have is, why did it take so long to get the season? And we got that question so often. Not even on Homestead videos. We'd get like Tuttle Twins videos that'd be like, where's Homestead season 1?
I know. We have to back up a little bit. We are actually very, very fast at producing Homestead. We're incredibly fast production team. Ben Smallbone and Radiate are just crazy great at their job. So we're actually not slow at this process. But when we originally created Homestead, the movie, we got great guild scores, but we were also worried. We didn't know what the guild really wanted because basically at that time, the bulk of Angel were Chosen fans. And The Chosen is a Bible story. And our question for the guild was basically, would you enjoy sort of like a Hollywood style thriller? And in this case, a post-apocalyptic thriller. We didn't know for sure whether or not the Angel audience would be into that. Or if they're like, no, we would just really prefer Bible stories. And we're like, well, what if we told a story of tremendous peril and people of faith? And so we kind of think of it as like Christian adjacent. It is not it's not specifically a story from the Bible or even about Christians experiencing a Christian apocalypse or rapture, or it's not based on it's heavily involved with the Bible, but it's not based in the Bible. So we didn't know if you would love that. And so we came out with Homestead the movie. You obviously loved it. And we followed up, and it was this huge moment of courage for Angel to say, make the first 2 episodes, do whatever it takes to see if our audience will love this as much as we do. Lo and behold, absolute crushingly successful on Angel. So we went immediately to work. We already had the scripts for the remainder of the season. We went immediately to work preparing to shoot the season. But guess what? It's in the fall. So we had to at least wait until at that point it was January, and when we learned how excited the guild was about Homestead, and we had to wait until August at the very earliest, actually the beginning of July, to start filming again. So it was really the weather that forced us to wait this long.
No, and I think just to jump off of that, I agree that like it was super encouraging to see the audience reaction.
Well, it's a total expansion of the Angel audience.
Exactly.
Like we were like Angel believed and really hoped that they would be able to tell great Bible stories and stories that fictional stories and true stories that would be really interesting and engaging to the Angel, all the way up until thrillers, like true modern entertainment. And so it was an experiment, and lo and behold, we absolutely were delighted to find out that we could tell a story. We could tell the same stories, the same basic not themes, but story styles, genres that Hollywood was using, only with what would be normal to us, which would be we live in a life of faith, and we live in red states, and we homestead, and we pray, and we go to church together, and we talk about the Lord as though it's like any other day. So we could tell stories like that and not have to necessarily make sure they're Bible stories per se.
No, I love that, and I think it goes right into one of our actual guild questions. I think it's from Dinah. She was just asking, how long will each episode be, and how many more episodes are there this season? So I'll answer the second part because that's really easy. How many more episodes there are? There are going to be 8 episodes for this first season. Of course, like we said earlier, the last 2 releasing on Christmas and the day after, or Christmas Eve, it's the 24th and the 25th. So the last 2 releasing then. But how long did it take to make each episode?
Each episode is like, I want to say, call it 5 or 6 days of filming. And the episodes will wind up being between 30 and 35 minutes each. They're a thriller. Okay. This is like, Homestead is like, we're really, really tight on our editing. So
that's great.
Our intention is to move the story very quickly, even while some of the like connective tissue gets dropped. Because we just want to match the pacing. Our models are The Chosen, Yellowstone, Ozark, and Justified. We look at the pacing of those now. Those aren't like Ozark was never going to be an Angel show. Justified probably not either, nor Yellowstone. So, but if we're going to follow a pattern of peril and thriller, we're going to have to pace like that. And so we have tight, a little bit shorter episodes that are very, very tight and that deliver on big moments of peril. And we call them wow beats, these moments of, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, that's perfect too, because that like range of time, the 30 minutes to 40-ish minutes, it's perfect for binging as well. It's like not too long to where it's like, oh, this is the whole evening, but it's also, we can watch 3 and still feel okay about it. I've been there. Just one more episode, just one more.
One more. But, and that's how we wrote them. Just perfect. One more episode.
Exactly.
Honey, just one more episode.
Yeah, please.
Stay up.
No, that's great. Another question that we kept getting on a lot of Homestead social media posts and stuff like that was, why the use of airsoft? Which I think there's a bit of background to that question. Do you mind explaining that for us?
Well, there's 2 answers to that question. For one thing, we used airsoft to train. So, by the way, just like it's not really much of a secret, but we are all of us really on the show, including most of the cast, preparedness people, homesteaders. I'm a homesteader. It's exactly what I'll be doing when I go home from this interview is homesteading, getting my farm put to bed for the winter. We all we all train with firearms for fun, and we own all these guns. So we're very gun conversant people, and we found that some of the best training, learning from Jeff Kirkham, from our actual Special Operation Forces friends, some of whom are in the show, that what they call force on force training. When you actually go, yes, we do shoot at the gun range a lot, but then we go out and train force on force in the mountains for fun, for exercise, and to learn. And we always have Special Forces consultants there to teach us. And we found that the military uses what's called miles gear, which is blanks with lasers. And in the show, you see us use a more modern version of that called X-TAC, which is lasers on airsoft guns. So the airsoft guns are perfect replicas of firearms. You put a device on them that fires a laser, and that is all tabulated by the internal computer. And you have a force on force where one force of people are fighting with another force, and you learn a 3-dimensional model of how to defend yourself with a firearm.
Yeah.
All of that say we're super big firearms geeks, and using airsoft, we've found, is the best replica for force on force, where you can't obviously shoot true firearms at each other.
So when people are seeing these airsoft guns in the series on like a video or a clip they might have seen, it's the actual series. They're using them as training. It's not like we're trying to pass off airsoft guns as like, oh, these people are running around the forest going pew pew with airsoft guns. They're actually training in the series like someone would on a homestead.
And we developed that firearm system with Team 6 Navy SEALs. This is it is a gold standard of firearms training, is to train against other, they call them OPFOR, opposition force, with simulated firearms. Now, also we use airsoft guns as props, because they're much safer. And now we have a bunch of actors and cast and crew running around with firearms. It is in a lot of ways better. Many of the firearms we're using on set are airsoft guns because they're replicas that look right for the most part, and they're great props, and they're safer. So we don't end up with an Alec Baldwin problem on set. Now, with that said, we hope in season 2 to move more fully into firearm shooting blanks, which introduces a whole new safety issue. Almost nobody does that, but our armor is really into the idea, and we think he's right. Our armor, Patrick, go Patrick. And we would love to just create more and more realism, because you lack some recoil from the airsoft. There's not the same recoil as there are with blanks. So we're hoping to upgrade into blanks fully next season, season 2.
Talking about the behind the scenes on the set sort of stuff, we have a question here from Jackin, Jackin. Jacine. Is it Jacine?
I don't know.
It's a lovely name. Sorry I couldn't say it. But she says, I was lucky enough to get to work with you on the set. So she was actually there. So really cool. But there were some long days with big setups. I would love to know which days of filming you found the most exciting and also the most challenging.
Okay. It's a great question. Exciting. Obviously, the large battles are really, really challenging. So those are super challenging days for production. But once they get moving, they're great. The scenes I remember most clearly, and by the way, thank you, Jacine, for showing up as an extra. Those are long days, and extras really put in the work. So it's terrific. It's super fun having you guys on the Homestead, by the way. I've met, I think, most of the extras, and some of them have just become like family. They're good friends to my children. Then they come to my kids' birthday parties, So we've made really, really good friends with a lot of the extras who visited us. And please come and join us on set. It is hard work, but it's for a good cause. So of all the shots that I find the most moving, this whole story. The theme, if I had to say a theme of the whole franchise, is heed God, because they're there in the apocalypse and they're looking for safety, and they're trying to find safety in weapons and strategies and military experience and money. Like Ian builds the homestead with money to prepare against this apocalypse, but in the end, nobody's safe. The apocalypse is a complete disaster. It's like nobody could have predicted what was going to happen, and the only safety is in the Lord. So, and they're like atheists in the homestead. There are believers. Everyone's concept of what is reliable and what is certain is tested, including those people of faith. So when I watch, especially as we get toward the end of season 1, and our characters are being deeply humbled by the peril, by the loss of what happens. They're being challenged in their faith. They're being challenged either to find faith or to take a stand in their faith or to rely on what they know, because that's the only place. Where are you going to go for safety? How are you going to know what to do in a collapse? Now, I'm a prepper, right? We prepare. But we're also, Jeff Kirkham, my co-author, and I, humble enough to know, and he's been humbled by seeing essentially apocalypses all over the world as he served our country, that there is only one safety, and that is in finding where the Lord is leading you. And I love to see those scenes. So those scenes where that finally all comes together and our characters lean in to each other and what the Holy Spirit is telling them. I mean, it just looks like a whole big action adventure, but if you watch carefully, you're saying these are people who are coming closer and closer and closer to surrendering to heeding God. And to see those scenes like with Jenna and Cain, or Jenna and Jeff, or Jeff and his children, where they finally crack and start to let their intuition, the guidance of something greater lead them. Those are my favorite. And those are like, I think you'll see as you watch season 1, as those moments start to come together. And by the way, it takes all those episodes. We get people saying like, where's God in this episode? And my answer is just wait. It takes time. People don't come to God like one day to the next. They have to be tested. As we see people like, they say there's no atheists in the foxhole. And we've kind of like based our story on that. So like, good luck being an atheist in the middle of the apocalypse. Good luck with that. And we see that work. And those are my favorite scenes.
No, I love that. Thank you for sharing. And you also mentioned one of the characters, Cain, in your answer there. So we have a question from, it's Detention is the name of the social media user.
Right.
But the question was, what did Cain put in Ian's IV? Can you even answer that?
Spoiler alert.
Can we just watch the series? Is that the answer?
Here's the thing. You never know what you're going to get with Cain.
Yeah.
So Cain is deeply wounded. He's Ian's brother. He's a deeply wounded guy, and also very, very capable, very charismatic, obviously, and he's a man of action. But he's also kind of a wounded boy. And so you never know what he's going to do. He's impulsive and a bit compulsive. And we see in episode, is it 1 or 2, he injects something into his brother's IV bag. And we don't know if he's trying to kill his brother or not. But Ian doesn't die right away. We know that. And I think here's what I will tell you. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Here's what I will tell you. Their backstory of these two brothers begins to become more and more obvious. And then some questions come up to, what is Cain's backstory? What is his history with Jenna? Because they say a few things in this season. You're like, wait a minute. What do they mean by that? And I was actually asking that question myself, because Charles Aston, who plays Cain, and Don Olivieri, who plays Jenna, are both consummate storytellers. And so sometimes in their scenes, they would kind of break away from the plot that I had written and introduce some really intriguing questions. And they have an impeccable sense of drama, both of those characters. They're some of our favorite scenes. So stay tuned. Know this. Cain's story and what he and Ian were doing together. Remember, like Masterson, the city guy, he is like accusing, he says all the way back in the movie that Ian is a drug dealer. He's a criminal. And you got to wonder,
so
where he didn't did he make that up entirely?
Yeah.
And then when you find out more and more, little by little, what is going on with these two brothers. So stay tuned for that. It's a whole thing. There's something to it.
No, I love that. No. So just in case you don't know, angel.com/homestead S1 stands for season 1. That's where you can go to sign up to become an Angel Guild member. Join. The first 3 episodes of the series are out right now. The new episode just dropped. It is live, so please go there. We're just here with Jason answering your questions. So we'll just keep on going. Thank you for being here. But the next question, we'll just keep going with these guild member questions. Let's go with Rupert. First, about the nuclear bomb that went off. Why did the phone still work? Why did the Tesla still work? What about EMP? What about the EMP? Wouldn't everything electronically based shut down? So maybe your specialty, maybe you could answer this because I have no idea. I'm question marks. I don't know.
Prepper nerd question.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the prepper nerd question. I love to answer these questions. Yeah, so we've studied extensively. I've studied extensively EMP, nuclear attack. First of all, a nuclear blast in Los Angeles Harbor is not an EMP. An EMP is a high altitude burst of energy. It is a nuclear blast, but it's way up in the, I believe, ionosphere. And depending on where an EMP goes off, it affects electronics differently. But what we see in the movie is actually a ground strike. It happens in the harbor, not an EMP event. So would it fry some electronics immediately close by? Possibly. But even in EMP, so a pre-attack, so an EMP would be a nuke that explodes in the ionosphere, doesn't hurt a soul, except for an EMP properly placed will fry mostly things that are plugged into the power grid. The power grid acts as a great big net that catches. The EMP is several types of waves, similar to static electricity, but it's not. Gotcha. So anything that's plugged in is in extreme danger, but like a vehicle, not necessarily impacted. In fact, military tests show pretty small impact on vehicles, even for an EMP directly overhead. So vehicles, they're sitting on rubber tires. They are a network, but it's a pretty small network of connections. Not usually affected. I wouldn't expect to see your Tesla shut down in an EMP unless maybe they're plugged in. If they're plugged in, way worse. Okay. But a Tesla that's not plugged in or a vehicle that's not plugged in might experience some problems, but it's very rarely does it shut the vehicle down. Telephones, cellular telephones are a disconnected network of essentially radio signals. They won't usually be shut down. So they're not necessarily plugged into the, so you lose some cell towers, not all cell towers. Most cell towers have backup power and they have backup batteries that'll last for weeks and then months if you factor in their backup power generation on site. So not likely to lose. We certainly wouldn't lose all the cell towers. Yeah. We definitely wouldn't lose most of the cars, even in an EMP, which this wasn't. So that is the prepper nerd answer to your fantastic question.
I'm glad you guys are thinking about it, so I don't have to. That's the whole thing. I know you guys are taking going such lengths to be true to life with this series and with the movie and everything. So I love that you have no idea. Answer that.
We test everything out. Exactly. We're going to show potatoes growing right now. Spoiler alert. I'm getting ready to plant turnips. I've never grown Japanese turnips over the winter, and I'm getting ready to plant them right now so that we can pick actual Japanese turnips in season 2 when we start filming in February. I have to plant them now and make sure I've mastered that. Now, my sister's mastered it. She lives up in the Rockies like I do. And so we're porting over everything we show in the film. We have definitely tried. We've baked bread just like we say. We've everything you see on the show is actually proven, tested, homesteader, prepper, geek technology. So
I love that.
Yeah, we have a good time with this, but we pull the story from real life.
Yeah, I think in listening to the audience in the comments and stuff, that's something that is very much coming across.
Right.
People who know homesteading and know prepping, they're commenting like, "Oh no, this is true to life."
Yeah, we are a true permaculture. The homestead is a true permaculture farm with food forests. With animals, we garden like crazy, we can like crazy. We're in it to win it on the whole homesteading front and permaculture and preparedness and growing food.
No, that's awesome. This next question, since you are the co-author of the book series that this series, TV series and movie were based on, Black Autumn, correct?
Correct.
So here's a question for that, but there is some departure from the books in the
big
movie. And the question is, why the departure? Is there a departure from the books in the series? Can you speak to that?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it is, the story is the same story. So it begins where it begins and ends where it ends, just like the books.
Okay.
So we were true to the books, but the books were written for a different purpose. So I really wouldn't bother to go out write books or create a movie or a TV show for pure entertainment's sake. It just wouldn't motivate me to do it. Wouldn't motivate Jeff Kirkham. Wouldn't motivate Ben Casca, Ben Smallbone. We're all there for a purpose, and the books were written to an audience of post-apocalyptic fans who are mostly we used to call them preppers, but now that name is kind of like slid into homesteading, which thank goodness for that, is so much more fun than just preparing. And we wrote Black Autumn, Jeff and I did, for a preparedness market. And at the end of 10 novels, we get to Jeff Erickson, the main character, on his knees seeking guidance from God. And it takes 10 novels for him to get there. And that was it. That was our big play, Jeff and I, to tell the world, like, you think you can prepare for this, but there's only one way to prepare for this, and that's to prepare your heart to follow a higher power. And it took us 10 novels to get there with a preparedness, like the post-apocalyptic, world of preparedness. And but when we found ourselves in the angel audience, we could go more directly to a story of heeding God, of like finding the truth that the Lord is putting on your heart. And we were able to accelerate that process of humbling and these, like, because God doesn't ever give us these straight answers. The answers are always like great storytelling. I mean, read the Bible. It's like such great storytelling. It's like epically unexpected the way things play out. It's totally unexpected how David slays Goliath, or how they take down Jericho, or how the Israelites make it into land of milk and honey. Totally unexpected, tons of twists and turns, big reveals. I mean, this is the greatest story. Jesus is the ultimate big reveal. It's the ultimate reversal reveal. Everybody caught off guard by the coming of a Savior they didn't expect. So we follow those patterns of storytelling. And when I sat down to write these scripts, I was freed up to tell a story much tighter to my faith than the novels. So that is the major difference, and that's where we see dynamics. And and I get it. Our readers, there's millions of them, and they love our books, and we love our readers. And I've been very clear. I asked my readers before I did any of this, how would you feel about me telling a story that is more proximate to faith? 85% of my readers said, please do that. So we did it.
Yeah, no, and it makes perfect sense, because that's true to real life too.
Absolutely,
because
we sit around like in the writer's room or with Ben Smallbone and Andrea Royer, our producer director, and we say, "Hey, look, if we were all in the apocalypse together and we were fighting and cooperating to protect our families, we'd be praying every single day together. We'd be looking for any wisdom and direction we could find, with all pretense of like modernity or like being in control of our own destinies would go right out the window. And we would it would become a conversation with God, almost whether we liked it or not."
No, thank you for that. Another question we have, I think it is from Brick Knight, is the name of the user. In the second season, will the enemy be rival countries trying to pick off the remnants of the United States? I love this, because it's another layer of, like, if an apocalypse were to happen, there's political stuff that you don't know, you don't really have control over. So will Homestead be diving into that whole narrative?
Such a great question.
It's a good question.
We're starting to see, I think what you'll see is at the end, by the end of season 1, our overarching theme. And Jenna, in her voiceover at the very, very end of episode 8, season 1, says something along the lines of, we were entrusted with a little, and we would be and because of our faithfulness, we would be put over much. And this, between Ben Cassica, Ben Smallbone, Andrea Royer, myself, we keep reminding ourselves as we tell the story that this is a post-apocalyptic miniaturized version of the story of the Israelites coming out of Egypt and heading toward the land of milk and honey, heading toward Israel, Zion. And the question is, the world has collapsed, and the U.S. has collapsed, and then ultimately we'll find the world has largely collapsed behind it. And the question is, what does the homestead have to do with anything? And the answer is, well, it depends on their faithfulness. Should the homestead choose to heed God and be faithful, they will be stewards over more, and then more, and then more. So it goes just from the homestead, like they're just defending the homestead in season 1. But then it becomes obvious that perhaps their responsibility will grow in season 2 over an entire region, the Rocky Mountains. And then in season 3, the whole region. And then season 4, perhaps the healing of the United States.
Yeah.
So you have this one small place that should they be truly faithful and make sure they'll make mistakes. They make horrible, horrible mistakes, all of the characters. But should they go where God is leading, will they be placed over more? Will they be placed over more and more? So I think you will definitely see this expand, and other countries will have their say in this.
Yes.
We will see ultimately, most likely, a cartel presence. We'll see a Russian incursion. They're just not going to let the American nukes sit there in the Midwest. So we'll see the effect of China. So, but the bigger question isn't like what powers and principalities are coming against the United States. It's what is God doing with this little group of people, such that in their faithfulness they could change everything, they could heal everything, and really, really behind it all is we are taking a shot at modern life. We're saying modern life is not all that it's cracked up to be. As you watch season 1 and you watch the Raven Rock FEMA compound, and you see how they've preserved modern life in comparison to the huge mess that is the homestead. But it's organic and it's family and it's coming together in children and animals and the land. Which of those would you choose? Modern life or togetherness and walking kind of walking with the Lord, or do we want our modern conveniences? So as they make choices to follow, you will see a much bigger, much more global impact for their little choices.
Oh, and that makes sense. That one thing would lead to another, and I think it just adds layer upon layer with the complexity of the show and the excitement of the show and everything else like that. So I'm sure with this season and on to the season 2, 3, and onward, it'll just get more and more exciting. I love that. That's so cool. Another question we have from our audience, Mary asked this question: what part or scene of this episode, let's just say of this season, gave you the most goosebumps, as if God touched you? And of course, let's try to avoid spoilers. So maybe you're just saying these characters had a scene and it was so impactful and it touched me.
Man, I don't know if I can talk about it without falling apart.
Oh no.
So almost kind of like I think the lamest part of Homestead the movie, sorry guys, is Claire and Abe. Right? They're just like these titillated teenagers. Oh, we're in love, and it starts getting more and more serious as they move their way down, they move along in the home. But we begin to learn that like for a 50-something-year-old man, Abe is the kind of teenager I kind of like to punch in the mouth. So he's a guy who's like totally disrespectful to his father, and we get his father's kind of locked up, and but he's your typical rebellious teenager who just is a victim about everything. He's just demanding he's very, very selfish, and Claire is like a homeschool girl. And by the way, Olivia, the actress, she's a homeschool girl,
So it
she
worked out.
truly is. And she's like this fantastic, perfect casting. But you see this like little, teenagers, we're in love, but it begins to matter immediately. Like they're in the apocalypse. You can't just he Snapchatted me. No, they're in it. Yeah. Soon they find you, as you've seen in the movie, that Abe ends up killing a man, and that just sends him on a whole new journey. But he's asking a question, and there's a scene toward the end of the season where he finally gets it, and it's because of a good woman, and it's because Claire Like Claire gives so much of herself, and Abe's mom, Tara, gives so much of herself that soon, given the fight for life and the real stakes that exist, he begins to realize and put his arms around, I won't tell you how he gets there, but about what it means to really be a man. And I'll just tell you one line. He says, my mother was about me every single moment of her life. And Claire says, well, it's because she's a mom. And he says, but what am I? Am I a boy who other people take care of, or am I a man who takes care of other people? And I just I didn't know it would pay off like that, like this whole storyline. I knew what we were writing. I knew we were telling a coming of age story. But coming of age story usually means nothing in Hollywood. It means coming of age to what? From what to what? Yeah. So what? We knew this was going to be a coming of age of a boy who becomes a man. And in our world, a man is someone who takes care of people before himself. And to show, kind of this crappy, young, all about himself teenager, like truly pay the price in so many ways to become a man. Wow. It's just like that one scene. It just crushes me every time I see it. And, kudos to Tyler, the actor, and Olivia, the actors who pulled that off that scene. It's in episode 7. It's just rocking strong.
Thank you for that. Let's dive into one of these questions again. No, that was great. I got goosebumps listening to it. So I was like, I got distracted. I was like, where do we go from here? That was great. That was awesome. But so this is an obvious question. Share what you can, of course. But what can we expect in terms of season 2? It's so funny. Everyone's like, give me season 1 now. Yeah. And now that season 1's coming out, everyone's like, where's season 2?
Well, the really great news, is we're deep in it. We're in pre-production now for season 2. So Angel greenlit season 2. So really, Angel saw your comments and is absolutely accelerated on the filming of season 2 as quickly as possible. So we're in pre-production now. Our plan is to start filming the 1st of February and to deliver early next fall or sometime next fall. And we're deep in the storytelling mode right now in the scripts. And can I just put a little plug out there
please.
For Angel Academy? So we have a group of Angel Guild members who read scripts with us. They're the first to know what's coming. And all of season 1 scripts were vetted in several versions by this Angel Academy. It's a Facebook group with a few thousand Angel Guild members. You're welcome to join. Oh, wow. Called Angel Academy. It's just a Facebook private group, and you're welcome to join it. And we will show you scripts, and you'll be able to vote on every single scene, and then vote on the episode, and then vote on the whole season. And that helps us to know where we have areas we can improve for sure, and where we're weakest. We don't know that until the Angel Guild tells us. And we're able to do it in script form before we ever take all that time to go to edit. So, and we know specifically what you want. And then we go back to the Angel Academy and say, you had trouble with this scene. Why? You had trouble with this scene. How could we do it better? So we're constantly getting feedback about how to improve scenes. For example, in season 1, Evan goes through, Evan Lee, the character played by Jesse Hutch, goes through a massive faith journey, and it continues into season 2. That was 100% recommended to us by the Angel Academy. Wow. So the Angel Guild got involved in our script writing process and say, we would like to see this character come to Jesus and in a realistic way. So we went back to our special forces guys like Vincent Vargas, who plays Santos in season 1, and go to our military veterans and say, what does that look like coming to Jesus? And Vince, who again plays Santos, he's a great character in season 1, walked us through his own faith journey. And then he jumped into the writer's room, and then we we're taking Evan Lee through that whole journey. So just a big plug for we're cranking on season 2 scripts. Come join us on the Angel Academy and help us perfect those. If you're down with reading scripts, which is hard, actually reading scripts is a different kind of literature. It's a little bit of a slog, but we super appreciate it, and we love to have your input early, so we can make like fundamental changes to the scripts now, improve them now, and match what the Angel audience loves.
No, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Before we close, I have one final question for you. But before we do that, I do want to just speak again to our audience watching. The 3rd episode of season 1 is out now. Brand new episode, Homestead the series, angel.com/homestead S1. Go there, become an Angel Guild member today. You gain access to that episode. And then every Wednesday, all the way up to Christmas, we're releasing a new Homestead Season 1 episode. So check it out there. Also, as we mentioned in the beginning, we're doing a giveaway. Again, just like for the film, it was extremely popular, but angel.com/Hummer, you can go there, find all of the details for this giveaway.
We're giving away
Check
the
it
Hummer?
out. We're giving away the Hummer.
Oh no, you guys are going to get our Hummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we loan it back to us for season 3?
Exactly. We need it for a few more seasons.
We might need it.
But it'll be great. It'll be great. So check it out there. How you're entered into that is
As
just
long as
by...
you don't give away the Killdozer, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah, like can't give away everything in the series, but I don't know. Maybe we'll try. Who knows? But with that, all you have to do to be entered into that giveaway is just watch Homestead the series. Just log into your guild account, watch episode 1, 2, and 3, and you're entered. So just
Cool.
watch, share, and just enjoy Homestead. And then just keep an eye out, see who wins all that giveaway stuff, and check it out. angel.com/Hummer. Check it out there. But I'd love to ask you a final question. It's been a long journey getting to this point. Season 1 is coming out, and a lot of people don't know, unless you're creative, that it is a grueling process to get a movie made. To get, oh my goodness, a TV series made is insane. So I would love to just ask you as we close, what does it feel like to finally get to this point to where you're like, it's out? And not only that, we're starting season 2. Like, what does that feel like as a creative that you have an opportunity to share this story?
Well, first of all, we feel super blessed. I mean, like, how many people get to do this with their lives, where they get to tell stories about what's really important to them? And in our case, it's faith. I mean, 100%. But it is a grueling process. Our joke is, this is like a beer drinking contest where the prize is more beer. It's grueling, and all that sounds like, how can it be that grueling? You're like making stuff up in your head. But it goes through such an arduous, before we put something in front of you, it goes through such an arduous process of feedback and revision. Like the Angel Academy that I mentioned before is one layer of that, but there's 25 layers of feedback and revision, and we just struggle with each other. Our production group, Ben Cassica, Ben Smallbone, Andrea Royer, Vincent Vargas, we struggle with each other to get to something that's filmable and exciting and highly motivated. So it's, it is way harder than, it's way easier to write a book. I'm just going to say that, way easier. I thought that was hard. This is 25 times harder because we're going to marshal this massive life force energy. Anyone who's been on set as an extra sees it. It's this massive movement of life force energy to get something on film for you to watch at home. And it marshals hundreds and hundreds of people and their effort and their heart. And so it's a huge responsibility for us, particularly on the screenwriting production side. So we take it very, very seriously. Your trust in us, and Angel's trust in us, we take that very, very seriously. And it leads to tons of conflict and tons of prayer together. And, we do our best to love each other well through the whole process. And even though it is like full of conflict, I mean, because nobody knows what's good. We don't know what's right until we've like hashed it out with each other and really tested all of our ideas. So we feel very, very blessed to be doing this. We know, we remind ourselves all the time, and in every prayer, we remind ourselves that to be with Angel in this moment, to be part of the Guild in this moment. We are changing everything about Hollywood.
Yes.
We had a big Hollywood director, a big Hollywood director, come to the Homestead premiere, and she came out. I won't say who it was, but she was the director of the Wonder Woman movies, I'm going to say. She came out, and I was like so nervous. I'm like, what do you think, Patty? And I said, oh, there's still so many warts. And she's like, stop. It was wonderful. I'm like, she's like, let's just stop. Hollywood is full of movies and TV shows that don't mean anything. Those shows and movies are usually about people just trying to be someone. That movie is about something that matters. Yeah. So do not apologize for it ever again. And we feel absolutely blessed to be with Angel, to be with the Guild, and to tell stories that the Lord leads us into. I don't know how else to say it. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for being here and answering some of these questions. We'll have to do it again as the season 1 wraps up. We'll have to do something like this again, and we can actually answer questions about the series now that everyone has seen it. Right. So possibly, maybe we see you again. Yeah. That'd be great. But just in case you have not seen the new episode out right now, angel.com/Homestead S1. Join, become a Guild member, and just watch over and over again till your heart's content.
Please.
But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
In the early days of the apocalypse, death was our most constant companion.
There is a house.
We had to draw lines. Who to let in, who to keep out.
They call the rising sun.
The thing about lines, though, sooner or later, someone is going to cross them.
The military attack on Homestead is imminent.
An attack by who?
'Cause God, I know
They're raiding camps and taking slaves. Putting together some sort of army. They want the Homestead arsenal.
Mom, there's someone in the forest.
We fight to the last man.
Or the last woman.
This has been foretold!
There's a girl that can see the future.
You know what happens?
I saw them die. Over and over.
There's a 600-man army coming to kill us and strip this place bare.
Why would I grow food when I could just take it?
Time to give them hell, boys! Time to give them hell!
I'm gonna protect our family.
This unjust homestead shall perish from the earth!
Jeff, let's talk this out, all right?
What have you done?
It's just darkness out there. That's all it is. This place, your homestead, the light. Without that light,
I know.
what's the point?
I know.